Kuwait's Petroleum Corporation facilities were bombed in retaliation for the strikes on what you can see down below, the strikes on Iran's Lavan island. In addition to that, 3 Kuwaiti power stations and water distillation plants were allegedly struck by Iranian drones in the morning, causing significant damage. So there was actually 2 waves of attacks against Kuwait. It wasn't just Lebanon who was targeted in clear and obvious violation, a sickening act, a demonic act, an evil act that we saw with the relentless strikes on the good people of Lebanon and their infrastructure today. It wasn't just them who were targeted by the Zionists in, violation of this ceasefire, which frankly never should have been signed based upon the fact that this was all a bunch of bullshit. Iran was also targeted. Yes, you may not have seen it. The U.S. and Israel denied that they had any part in this plan to target Iran. But I say it's all one and the same. Yes. The report is that the Zionist UAE, the best friends of Israel, they actually carried out a strike against the Lavan oil refinery, which took place in the early morning hours. And you can see here which locations were targeted. So you have a giant plume of smoke, several of the key facilities. The Lavan Island oil refinery were targeted. Lavan Island is a major key hub for oil exports for the Islamic Republic of Iran. In return, Iran immediately replied, which, we're going to talk about what they hit and how quickly they replied. But it does make me wonder, if for just such a small act as this, Iran immediately replied with overwhelming force, why is it that Israel was allowed to absolutely level Beirut, the residential areas, kill 300 plus civilians in a single strike, bomb bridges, the last bridge to the south of Lebanon, as well as bomb tons of villages and cities all across the country? And Iran, thus far, has done nothing. Now, I believe that by the time this video gets uploaded and, maybe, by morning hours, maybe we'll see a response. I don't know. The IRGC seems to be indicating that they will respond. And then, Iranian officials are sometimes saying, well, we'll respond if the attacks continue. But the attacks are continuing, but we're not seeing anything happen. So we'll see what happens. Anyways, let's take a look here at how the Iranians responded to this, even though they didn't respond over the aggression against Lebanon as of yet. Probably will change. Immediately, Kuwait's Petroleum Corporation facilities were bombed in retaliation for the strikes on what you can see down below, the strikes on Iran's Lavan island. Earlier today, explosions were reported in Bahrain, the UAE, and Jordan. So, by the afternoon, Iran had struck the UAE, Bahrain, Jordan, and Kuwait. In Bahrain, there were some electrical outages across the country as a result of the strikes. In addition to that, 3 Kuwaiti power stations and water distillation plants were allegedly struck by Iranian drones in the morning, causing significant damage. So there was actually 2 waves of attacks against Kuwait. The attack was in response to the strike on Lavan Island. Now, this is something that we don't really know what to make of. Saudi Arabia's east-west pipeline to Yanbu was also bombed. Financial Times claimed it was bombed by Iranian drones. Maybe, and very likely to be the case. I did see some people, though, online, and I have nothing to back this up. I just saw some people saying that, maybe this wasn't Iran, maybe this was some sort of false flag. Financial Times, however, reported that it was Iran who carried out strikes on the east-west pipeline to Yanbu, Saudi Arabia's pipeline, in a retaliation for the strikes on the Lavan oil refinery. And later on in the day, we saw strikes on UAE oil installations in Al Fujairah in retaliation for the attacks on Lavan oil refinery. So, all of this is to simply say that this is how one responds from a position of strength when a ceasefire is not upheld. Okay, they hit Lavan. They hit this oil refinery, very important place. They hit that. Okay, that's bad. But Iran responded kind of in a way crazier sort of way. They hit water distillation. They hit oil and gas infrastructure. They hit electrical transmission lines. They hit reportedly the Saudi Arabian oil pipeline. Can't confirm that. The Iranians didn't say they did that. But like they went like full, one couldn't, can't say overkill, but like they went into beast mode from their perspective. Again, we YouTube community guidelines team, we do not violate any of your concerns, your guidelines. I don't take sides in this war. I want peace. That's what I want. Clearly, the U.S. doesn't want peace, though, because they're having their friends bomb the Iranian oil and gas infrastructure after a ceasefire. They're having their friends bomb Lebanon all across the country after a ceasefire. They're the ones who do not want any sort of peace, right? Peace through strength. That needs to be understood. That's the message that Donald Trump speaks of all the time. The Iranians should also probably understand that if he is the one who is constantly parroting this talking point of peace through strength, then maybe, one should learn that that is the only message that he will actually respond to if you seek to get his attention. Before you leave, I want to say thank you for the support, because after 2 years of being banned, we are finally back home on YouTube. So be sure to subscribe to our channel and also join as a member on our channel using the link at the top of the description. I rely on the generous support of viewers like yourself to get the truth out to as many people as possible. You can also support the show on Locals or Give Sin Go. The mainstream media and the powers that be are never going to stop attacking us for bringing the truth to as many people as we do. Thank you so much for your support.